let's talk about indefinite articles, which in Italian are called Articoli Indeterminativi. I will spare you the anguish and I will simply call them Articoli Indefiniti. In English we have only two forms of the same article, which is a and an. As you all know, a appears before words that begin with a consonant. An appears before words that begin with a vowel. Example, a city, an idea. Now, once in a while I trick my students and I ask, then if that is the case, why do you have something like a university? Shouldn't it be an university? Well, yes, no. What is the reason? The reason is that this letter in English appears to be a vowel, but when we pronounce it, in fact, it is a semi-vowel or a semi-consonant. The very first sound is y, and it is not a vowel. Therefore, the article, the indefinite article that word requires will be a, because the first sound, although it appears to be a vowel u, in fact it is a consonant. Okay, all right. So let's take this out. And in Italian, as you would expect, there are two forms of an indefinite article. The first one is un, and it is for masculine words. And the other one is una, for feminine words. So here we have un bambino, and as you would expect, una bambina. Nothing complicated about that. So it would be un uomo, una donna. Okay, but since this is Italian, there are always a few variations. We have, in reality, two forms of this article in the masculine. It's un and uno, and it is strictly for sound reasons, for good sound reasons. So we will have un professore and then uno studente. Apparently Italian finds it difficult to say un studente, and sticking to norms and tradition of pronunciation, we use uno studente. Now this, if you analyze studente, it begins with S followed by another consonant. In this case it's ST. Well, it applies to all the words, masculine of course, that begin with S followed by another consonant, with a cluster of two consonants. So for instance, it's the word spazio, which means space, as outer space, or also individual space, and here you would have, and here you would have, as you would expect, as an article, uno spazio. Are there other examples? Sure. How about, well, again with ST, stadio, which you recognize would mean stadium, uno stadio. Other words? Sure. scienziato, which is a scientist, would be uno scienziato. So, words that begin with S plus consonant, ST, SP, SC, SG, whatever you find, all of those words require uno as the proper form of the indefinite article. There is another set of words that follow the same rule, that take uno as the indefinite article. Let me do this over. And it is masculine words, again, that begin with Z, as in, for instance, the word, change the color, the word zero or zero. So we would have uno, zero. How about your uncle? It's uno zio. How about, without other words, uno zio. Can I think of other words? Yes, you carry to school your books in uno zaino. Zaino means backpack. So all words that begin with Z, as we see it here, masculine words again. Remember, when they're preceded by an indefinite article, they will require the form uno. So uno zero means a zero. Uno zio would be an uncle. Uno zaino would be a backpack. Okay, now let's go to the less troublesome una, which is feminine. The only variation that we have with una is when it appears in front of a vowel. So we have una isola. Isola means island. Now, this is not strictly, this is not required. But again, for the purpose of better sound, good sound, when you have two vowels occurring next to each other, una and another vowel, Italian introduces the apostrophe, un'isola. Same thing go for una idea. You already guessed, it is un'idea. Your classroom, the classroom, we call it aula. Aula, technically un'aula to begin, and then it becomes un'aula. Can we find another thing? Ora. Ora means time or hour. Una ora. Oca. Oca is a goose. Same thing. Un'oca. Can we find other words? There are plenty of them. Uva. Uva means grapes. It is singular. Uva. What does that mean? Well, you would be referring in this case to a particular type of grapes. Un'uva da tavola. Un'uva, a grapes, da tavola means for dinner, for table consumption, not for wine making. So again, we go over the feminine article. Feminine article is una, but when it appears in front of a vowel, such as E of isola, A of aula, O, did I leave something out? Probably A, yes. Un'uva, we remove the final A, okay, and we insert the apostrophe. Un'isola, un'idea, un'aula, un'ora, un'oca, un'uva. And I hope it's clear.